everyone's gonna guess what song this is.
Right, if you don't know what song this is, something's wrong with you.
Like you was, I don't know, it'd be funny. You was around the time when this song dropped. Why you had to laugh? You make it. I wasn't even trying to joke. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Let me check the date. But yeah, I was around
like
when I was a young. I was a youngin.
Yeah.
I was a youngin.
Anyway.
All
right, guys. So we're gonna get into it.
We are back. We are back.
I'm back. I hope you guys had a safe Memorial Day weekend. We took a little break.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
So actually, I think it rained.
Labor Day rained. Poured in New York.
Yeah, definitely
poured in Brooklyn. But they were still out there partying.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it in today's session. If you guys are joining us for the first time, I'm Josh, aka Mr. Fix That Credit Now.
And I'm Chuck Finance, the money man. Anything you need to know, just hit us up and we'll answer your questions.
All right, so tonight's session, I'm going to go over a quick motivational story alongside how to clean your credit from A to Z. Let me just look at my note, make sure I'm on point. How to clean your credit from A to Z with removals, zero out your debt, what bills to pay, what bills not to pay, what credit score to build up to, right? We're also going to talk about having a 9 to 5 as well as a business. I think that's very important to touch on. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about the 3 most important things to do when you're starting a business.
Okay. This video set is going to be broken up into 3 pieces. So we're going to have part 1, part 2, and part 3. So they're all connected, but just understand we're going to break them up so that you're going to be able to see 3 different sections at 3 different times. So when you see us with the same clothes on, we're making the same video. So don't be talking about us that we didn't change our clothes. All right, got it? So I'm going to talk about taxes. I'm going to talk about the 4 things that affect your money, and I'm going to talk about some other points that you're going to see, and they're all going to merge together. So everything that we're telling you about, we want you to take notes, we want you to ask questions, and we want you to say, hey, listen, reach out to us, and all the information will be down in the link below, and contact us, hit the like button, let us know what you want to learn about so we can teach it to you and discuss it with you and figure it out, and we can work it all out together.
Correct.
Team Success for Life.
Absolutely.
All right.
Last but not least, before we get into everything, I want to talk about 2 new updates, right? So Fix That Credit Now and Team Success have 3 locations, and we're actually looking to add on 2 more. So we got 2 locations.
We growing.
That's right. So don't sleep on us. So we got 1 location on 12 Newport Street. We have another location on downtown Brooklyn on J Street, 300 Camden, right?
Pier Point Plaza, yeah.
Right across from the courts.
Right.
And then we have 112 on West 34th Street, right there on Harold Square. The building is where the Foot Locker is. I know everyone knows what Foot Locker is. So right above Foot Lockers is where our office is, right? So all the information, you guys can give us a call, set up an appointment, and come to our locations. We're in the heart of New York and the heart of Brooklyn. All right.
That's it.
So further ado, we're going to get into it.
All right. Okay, we are back with video 1 of 3. What we're going to talk about right now is something real simple. I am a big Robert Kiyosaki fan. Everybody knows that. I love all his material, read all his books, studied all his material. And one of the things that Robert Kiyosaki teaches us is something called the 4 classes of assets. As we went over before in our previous videos, very simple. A liability takes money out of your pocket. An asset puts money in your pocket. Nice and simple, and 8th grade can understand that. No matter what you read, no matter what you study, you have to be able to break it down so that you can understand it, so that everyone can understand it. So real simple. 4 asset classes, according to Robert Kiyosaki, and this is true. When we've done the studies, we understand it now. So now, real quick, number 1, and not in any particular order, but one of the first asset classes is real estate. All of that, your money that we're learning, that we're studying all these years, all of your money should somehow be tied to real estate. We'll go into that deeper later, but we want to give you an overview of some of the things that we study in team success when it comes to financial literacy. Number two is businesses. Businesses is another asset that are part of the four. Number three are commodities. Commodities are simply raw commodities such as iron, gold, oil. Then you have sugar, you have cocoa. Those are commodities. The last one is portfolio income. The best way to understand this is think paper. What we say is that anything related to paper, stocks, bonds, annuities, equities, whatever that concerns, that's all portfolio income. Robert Kiyosaki also talks about a fifth that he talks about later in his books, but you have to be able to get further down the road. You can't just read Rich Dad Poor Dad and think that you got it. You have to really read his other material to truly understand what he's talking about. The fifth asset class that he talks about, if you email us, I will give you this answer. That's what I'm going to do. That's the only way I'm going to give it to you, because you have to know what this is. So now what happens is, what we do when it comes to team success, Josh and I, and his businesses and his companies, we actually have a profit margin based business that starts from a one-time investment of $28 that goes all the way up to 1,000. But there are 7 business opportunities that you can invest in. Remember, the earliest one is $28. I should put K. All the way up to $1,000. So that's 7 business opportunities that you can start today that actually generate income automatically off the bat as soon as you get involved into it. And we're going to talk about these later, but we just want to give you an overview of what we are doing in New York, in Brooklyn, and actually in New York all over, so that you can understand. And if you truly want to get involved, we'll share all this information with you. Just hit the like button. Just say what you feel. Hit us up. Hit us with the emails. Hit us. Let us know what's on your mind, so we can talk about it. We can show you things that we know. So this is it. The 4 asset classes. Remember, asset puts money in your pocket, and liability takes money out. All of these put money in your pocket. So thank you very much. Hit me with a question. Got it.
All right, guys. So we're back. So, like I said, one of the main things I want to talk about is how to go from a 9 to 5 into a business owner, as well as what are the key things that you would have to do, right? So, I can only talk from my experience. One of the main things that helped me go from a 9 to 5 to into my own business was I actually save my money. I know we're talking about this a lot, but I actually saved my money because I knew in my head intentionally what I wanted to do with it, right? So I know a lot of times people save money and they don't know what to do with it. That's not being proactive, right? So I saved my money because I knew where I wanted to put it. I actually wanted to put it toward an investment. So one of the key things, well, one of the 3 key things was I saved my money and I put it towards an investment that I knew was going to work for me, right? The reason being because the investment that I was going to go into, the contract that I wanted to stated if I invest X amount of money in 30 days, I'm going to get X amount of money. All right. So a lot of time when you guys are looking to save your money and invest your money, the key thing is make sure you get a return on your money within 30 days. That's what worked for me. I can only tell you what worked for me. All right. So to give you an example, I took my $100 that I saved, I put it into an investment, and it made me $200. Once I made that $200, I had to make a conscious decision on: am I going to go save it again, or am I going to do what actually worked for me in the beginning? Like I said, I just realized my intention was, all right, Josh, this money I saved, I know it doesn't take away from anything that I'm doing in life, right? That money didn't have to go towards bills. That money didn't have to go towards, new clothes. It didn't have to go towards, um, you know, anything that I'm responsible for, if you want to put it that way. So what I did was I made a conscious decision to say, hey, I'm gonna put the $200 back. I know a rule from a long time ago from my aunt. She told me, don't never invest money that you're scared to lose. So if you're scared to lose it, don't invest it. So I said, you know what? I'm not scared to lose the 200. I'll just do it, right? Reason being because I made my first $200 back. So I took the $200 and guess what? I was able to double that money. I made $400 on the same investment that I did. Um, guess what happened after that? I took the $400. I felt more confident, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the $400 because I know at the end of the day I'm gonna make $800. And guess what? That's what happened. Now I took my $800. I said, man, it's kind of sweet. That's $800. That's like rent, and I can probably take my daughter out for a week and get a new phone. That was my thinking at the time. Mind you, I'm probably about 25 years old at the time. So what I did was I said, you know what? Let me not do that. Let me play the long game because my goal initially was to take the money and actually see if I can grow my money to $1,000, right? So remember, this is all happening within like a 3 month time frame. So it took me a minute to really invest the $800, and the turning point for me at $800 was I went out one day, I had a pocket full of money, and I spent $100. And when I thought about the $100, I thought about my initial investment. And I said, damn, I got $800 in my pocket, and I just spent $100 without even thinking about it. I said, you know what? I like spending $100, so let me invest. Let me invest back into it. So I pulled out $100 from my other savings account, put the $800 back, and then I put it back into an investment, and I made $1,600. Fast forward, I did the same concept when it came down to buying my first franchise. Me and my brother talked about buying a franchise because we were just tired of working for people at the end of the day. So we came up with a really really good. We got introduced to a really good franchise, and it was about a $5,000 investment. Lucky enough, they had in-house financing at the time because my credit was bad. I was on child support and a whole bunch of things like that. So the great thing was that the franchise actually had in-house financing. On top of that, there was no credit check, which was amazing at the time. So I definitely jumped on it. But before I can actually jump on it, I had to have some money saved. And it goes back to the same, concept. I had to have money saved. I had to have a sure investment that was going to get my money back, as well as a return on my money. So before we invest into the franchise, my way of thinking was I want to implement the same thing I knew that was working for me. Save my money, invest it, make sure I get a return. Okay, so that's what I did. We sat down with the franchise company. They gave us a pitch, and I said, forget that. I want to know what the contract entails. So I had my lawyer looked at it, and rightfully so, there was a terms and condition where we invest our money, and no matter what, within a year time frame, actually less than a year time frame, 6 months to 12 months, we'll get a return of $5,000 on our investment. So I invested, I think at the time it was just about 1,600 or 1,500 to get the LLC and to buy into their packet into their program. That revenue got me 5,000 in less than 6 months, actually, right? So that was a great investment. Now the key to this investment was, I know a lot of people was asking me before when I was explaining it. They would say, "Where did you put your money at?" This is the most, me, and I know everyone out there on YouTube, on Instagram, or Facebook, you guys think the same way I do because we all the same at some point. I did not send my money out to a company. I put this money in a Nike shoebox. All right. The reason being because I had trust issues. I don't trust nobody with my money. So what I did was when I invested $100 the first time, I put it in, and then I actually took money out of my paycheck and doubled it because I knew of a concept that my aunt told me a long time ago. She said, "Just make your money work for you before you actually give it to somebody else. You have to understand what money is. You have to understand how money operates." So we just use a compound effect. That's what this is. All right. So we're going to give you another video, and we're going to go over some key points on how to fix your not to say how to fix your credit, but what are some key things to do to fix your credit. Right. We're also going to go through how to build your credit, as well as what's the 4 key credit scores. All right. Be right back.
All right. We're back with section 2. Section 2. Here we go again. Number 4 is a fascinating number for those numerologists out there. So now watch this. Again, what we do is, again, I keep stressing Robert Kiyosaki's material only because if it were not for his material, I would not be as savvy as I am in financial literacy as I am today. He's the one who opened up the door for me. And the next video, I'm going to actually share some other authors that you should actually check out. But for now, we're going to look at this. His determination is that there are 3 things that affect your money, but we find that there's actually a fourth item criterion also. So according to Robert Kiyosaki, debt, inflation, and taxes are the 3 things that affect your money. The Team Success has added one more, which is number 4, your own decisions. And it's very important that we understand that all these things in no order whatsoever, but if you truly understand these and you have a master of this information, the hidden knowledge, you can understand and you can grow and you can become wealthy. Debt, we know that the issue with that is too much. Bad debt is not good at all. Good debt, it's great. And knowing the difference is very key and very important. Inflation, we know that we have no control over that. We actually have control over 3 of these items. Inflation, we do not have control over because that's controlled by the Federal Reserve. We all know that the Federal Reserve is owned by private corporations, not the federal government. Taxes, you can actually control taxes by certain income brackets that you fit in. And that comes with your deductions, and that comes with owning a home-based business, and that becomes with being ownership, and that's very key, very important. And next and last is your own decisions. It's very important that we teach our children that is it really important to buy that new set of sneaker that's coming out, or is it better to invest and take that same amount of money and invest it into an account that can grow over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years? Those are the decisions that we have to make. We're not saying that you have to limit yourself to what you're doing, but you have to be smarter at spending your money and how it's going out. So people have to truly understand. So now once you understand this, and in videos coming, we're going to go into detail on this information and data so that you can truly understand why you're broke and the strategic why we're not taught this in school systems. And when you see it, you're going to be like, okay, got it. I understand. You have people who have more marked at the end of the money, and we show you how to defeat that and building wealth. So just wanted to show you this. Remember the 4 things that affect your money: debt, inflation, taxes, and your own decisions. Thank you. Team Success for Life.
All right, guys, we're right back, just like we promised. All right, so I want to get into it. So you guys know, online, Instagram, Facebook, I've been promoting my company called Fix That Credit Now, right? A lot of people don't know why this company came about. My company came about before the whole financial, not the financial wave, but the whole Fix That Credit wave came about. I know a lot of people were doing credit repair, a lot of people were doing it, but it was a huge wave that came through, right? The reason why I opened up my own credit repair company, because once I got the franchise, I was not able to get funding. Okay, even though I was open for I think over 6 months to a year at the time, I could not get any funding. Reason being, because my credit was horrible. So me being me, I made, what do you call it? The world gave me lemons. I made lemonade. So I opened up my own credit repair company. So I went through everything I needed to do. I invested about $1,500 to $2,000 in software, legal documents. I sat down with an attorney. I got everything, settled with them as far as the paperwork and different things I needed. I also invested into a credit franchise that actually helped me and educate me, and they also opened my eyes to like understanding how to operate a credit repair company. So that was great. But one thing I always remembered was I want to own my own business. I do not want to work for anybody, right? I've been around the block. I've been in multi-level marketing companies, I worked for people in different companies as well. And one thing I didn't like was that one, I work extremely hard. Two, the pay never added up to how much work I put in. So that was one of the rules that kind of definitely motivated me to like move forward and say, hey, if I do anything, make sure you own it first. So that's what I did. So that's the reason why I opened up Fix That Credit now. Now the key things to fixing your credit from A to Z, I'm going to try to like condense it and make it short and sweet, right? So the main thing that you want to do is one is get your credit report. Two, you want to just target anything and everything that you can actually get removed. So old accounts, things like that. One disclaimer is if you do not know how to read your credit report, give me a call. All right. So you can do it yourself. I'll show you how to do it. You can just give me a call. It's very simple. But when I say do removes, I don't want you to go willy nilly and start deleting everything because then you can mess up your credit. Okay. So that's a disclaimer. Make sure you guys pay close attention to that. It's very important. So removals is one. The second is disputes, right? Everything that's on your credit report can't just be removed. You have to go through the dispute process. Okay. Um, and another key thing to help you clean up your credit is you need to go over your credit report. So you have to get your credit report. And the main thing is this: if you have maxed out cards, or any debts, or any collections, and things like that, you want to prioritize what bill to pay now, what bill to wait on, and what bill you cannot pay. You want to work like that. It's going to help you, just target and make sure that you're doing things in a way where it's going to be most effective to you to get the most immediate results. All right, moving along. So once you clean your credit, the next step is to build your credit. How do you build your credit? You cannot build your credit on a weak foundation. So that's the reason why you have to do this first step, which is clean it up first. And then you build your credit. The best way to build your credit is this. One, you need to understand it. You have to understand what the FICO score matrix actually represents. But I'm going to give you a little cheat code. Once you clean it up, you want to move forward with getting new credit lines, anywhere from 5 to 7 new credit lines. And there's also different types of credit lines. So some of the things that you want to focus on are revolving accounts, secure cards, and store cards. Okay? Now moving forward, what are the 4 key credit scores that you should be working towards to get, right? You want to work towards getting a 680, a 690, a 700, and a 720. Once you get to these credit scores, you will see the C part. But your main goal is to get to this point because this is a great point for you to actually start getting lines of credit and actually, just move it along with your financial journey. All right. This is Josh, aka Mr. Fix That Credit Now. If you guys love the information, definitely subscribe. We're going to be here kicking that butt every day, giving you guys some really, really good content and some good information that you guys can actually use in your life today. For more information, please reach out to me at 1-800-771-9478, or you can reach out to me on our platforms, which is Fix That Credit Now, Team Success, as well. Like I said, if you guys are on the social media platform, you guys know how to DM and send messages and things like that. And also give you guys an update. We have 4 new offices, 2 in Brooklyn, 1 in Manhattan, and the next one we may open up in Queens or the Bronx. So we're just waiting for that contract to come back and see, if it makes sense on the lease. All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your night. Safe travels.
Okay. So now we want to explain that we are not tax specialists. We are not tax advisors. We do not have authority to give you tax advice. We want to put that out there. We just want to let you know some things about taxes that you need to speak to your CPA about. We will give you some questions that you probably never even knew of to ask your CPA. Your CPA, according to the new tax code, should know what we're telling you right now. If you ask your CPA certain questions that I'm going to show you and they cannot give you the answers, you need to get another CPA. So, according to the U.S. Federal Tax Code, there are 3 types of incomes only permitted to be taxed by the United States. Now, the first one is earned income. Earned income is earned, the most taxed income today. Everyone who's working a 9 to 5 is getting taxed earned income. Now, here's the problem. What people think is they can become wealthy just by earned income. It's technically impossible to become wealthy with just earned income. According to the new tax codes, earned income is taxed from 0 to 37%. So simply what that means is for every dollar you make, the government can take up to 37% of that $1 bill. And this is very key, very important. So when you understand these tax codes, remember the 4 things that affect your money. Taxes is on that list. Taxes technically is the number 1 thing that affects your income. So now, when we understand this, so now when people say that they make $100,000 a year, you can actually technically do the math and figure out how much they actually bring home. And it's all real. It's all New York State, well, not New York State, U.S. tax code. Okay. Next is something called passive income. Passive income also is taxed from 0 to 37%. We're showing you, again, a blanket overall view of what it comes down to the tax way that people are taxed in the United States. What we want you to do is we want you to go and do the research yourself and have the conversation and read the books and read the material, or give us a call and we'll point you and direct you to other information and data. But I have to say it again, the disclaimer is we are not CPAs. We cannot say that this is how it is and you should do it this way. No, we're not going to do that. But we're going to show you some things that you need to talk to the qualified people that are able to, quote unquote, answer those questions. Portfolio income is taxed at a different rate. And it depends on long-term or short-term portfolio income. So now what happens with the short-term income is taxed at 0 to 37% again, but the difference is long-term portfolio income is taxed at 0 to 20%. So what that simply means is if you keep your money tied up in portfolio income for over a year, it's only taxed at 20%. So simply what that means is for every dollar that you make in portfolio income, the government taxes only 20% of that. This is where you want to move to. All of this, you want to move to this tax bracket right here. And this will save you a whole lot of money. And this is, again, things that are not taught in school, things that are not taught to you by the powers that be. They don't want you to know these things. So once we understand it and once we get it, we understand how the game is played. Remember, money is a game. What we advise is this. People who I really like and who I really enjoy really studying, of course, Tom Wheelwright, Sandy Botkin, and Carla Dennis. These 3 people, you can actually Google them. You can go on Facebook. You can go on YouTube, pull up their videos, and you can learn a whole bunch from these 3 people right here. And these are just 3. So I just want you to go home and do some homework, check it out, and look at the information, look at the data, and look at the new tax code. And this came into play 2018 when the president came in and changed the tax codes and went into effect 2019. So it's still new. But here we go. This is it. 3 types of income, tax code, understanding this. So now what happens is one of the things that you have to do is once you study this and once you understand it, there's something called income shifting. And once you start shifting your income, you can actually decrease your earned income. You can decrease some things. And then what happens is you can actually start getting your income taxed at a lower rate. You're always going to have to pay taxes. Depends on, do you want to pay at 37% or do you want to pay at 15%, 20%? That's the key. That's the key of one of the ways of maintaining and building wealth. Thank you very much. Any questions, hit the like button. Any comments, hit the like button. Hit us, ask us questions. We'll guide you and direct you to information and data, source points. I also like NerdWallet, Investopedia. These are very, very knowledgeable sources of income and data that you can pull up and have questions about. So anything, just give us a shout, give us a shout out, hit the like button, and contact us. We're in Brooklyn. We got 3 offices. No, we got 3. We got 2 in Brooklyn and 1 in Manhattan. So we rocking it, we growing. Team Success for Life. Thank you very much.
Cool.
All right, we are back. Closing out the session. Thank you, Brother Josh.
Closing out.
Excellent job. I hope they got something from us.
Pretty sure.
Good. We just want to say thank you for listening to us. Thank you for spending time. YouTube viewers, remember, we want you to hit the like button below. Our contact information is all below. Contact us, email us, give us a text. Everything will be located underneath. So let's keep this thing going. Remember, any questions you have, any comments, hit us up. If you need clarification on anything that Josh spoke about, that I spoke about, just hit us up and we will clarify. The important thing is the wealth building. Wealth building is the key. And all the things we're showing you are opportunities at a minimum cost to create wealth, intergenerational wealth, habit-forming wealth habits.
Right. So I guess one of the things I want to close out on this week, one of my main goals is to, educate, help a lot of people, right, and make a lot of money. And I think a lot of people don't talk about the money. Like we're all trying to chase for the money. We're all trying to chase for the money and chase for the money. But money has a language. I guess we want to put it that way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in order for you to make money, you have to know how to speak the language and understand the language. All right?
Yes.
Good.
Mechanics have a language.
Mhm.
Doctors have a language.
Yeah.
Everyone in their profession has a language.
Correct.
Money, finance has a language. And you have to understand the language to be able to understand and interpret what's being said.
Right.
Yes, absolutely right.
Right. So once I understood like the language of money, looking back and trying to understand my history, right, with being an entrepreneur, being a hustler, being a go-getter, and now a business owner, I was grooming myself to understand the money language, and now I got to the point to where I'm understanding the formula of how to make money. Right? There's a formula, and a lot of people don't understand the language or the formula. Right? Like I tell my daughter all the time, listen, take your time and understand the formula to the math question. Because if you don't understand the language and you can't comprehend the language of the math question, you cannot solve the problem. Right? So if you want to keep it, let's keep it simple. Your language is going to help you comprehend. Your comprehension is going to allow you to answer the equation, which is how to accumulate money. All right. Last but not least, I want to leave you guys with a great offer for the next 7 days.
7 days. What's today's date?
So today is Thursday. Thursday.
Okay.
So from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a 7-day promotion that we're going to do for Fix That Credit Now. Whoever sees this video, you guys are going to have the opportunity of getting 30 days or your first month free of free credit repair services from me. Personally. I'm personally going to do your credit repair for you guys, right? And I'm also going to add 3 additional services to it. So you're going to get credit repair, you're going to get credit rebuilding, and we're going to help you build a credit profile, which is very important. All right? So that's my treat to you guys.
So let's do this. Today's the 12th.
Yeah.
7 days.
7 days.
What is known is the 3 major credit reports. What we'll offer is we will pull 14 for them.
We'll
pull all 14 for them. How's that? We'll pull 14 different credit reports for you. That's what we'll do for you.
That's crazy.
But they gotta hit us in 7 days.
Gotta be within
Today's the
7
12th.
days. Today's the 12th.
September 12th, 2019.
Yeah.
So I don't want somebody to see us next year and be like,
Yeah, like remember the Amazon promotion?
Right, the Amazon promotion. Yes, got it. So we crystal clear. You contact us within 7 days. What's going to happen is we're going to pull 14 different credit reports for you and share that with you.
Great. All right, so you guys got it. You guys heard it here. Other than that, listen, you know how we do. We're gonna close out with a nice song. We're gonna leave the information on all our platforms. Sorry about that. Like I said, just reach out to us. If you guys don't take action, you guys don't let us know what you need. If you guys don't, pick up the phone or just send a message, we can't really. I mean, the video is going to do the justice, absolutely. But sometimes you want to pick up the phone. Sometimes it is about picking up the phone and just having that one-on-one conversation because each person issues or problems are all different.
Right.
So you have to call in and say, hey, man, it was great information, but can you customize that to what's going on in my life right now? So definitely, pick up the phone, use all these devices that we have, and just reach out. Reach out.
That's it. Got it. We're good.
All right, man. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Later.
Peace.